Hey everyone, Grandmaster Ben Finegold here. It looks like I have Starbucks, but actually I got this at the hotel gift shop. They sell Starbucks coffee, but they don't take the Starbucks card, so I just got the coffee and ran as fast as I can. So if they start dragging me out in the middle of the video, you know why. Okay, um, I played Alejandro today. It was a very long, difficult game. So let's have a look. Um, I didn't know what Alejandro would do on move one. He played one of the things I prepared for, except in this position, I only looked at b5, which he's played before, which I've never faced. And he played g6, which he also plays, but I didn't look at it. In fact, it seems as though he only plays this against people named Benjamin, because the game that I saw in the database was against Joel Benjamin. And when I say I saw the database, I mean 20 minutes ago. Okay, so this is all normal stuff. You can play bishop e2 or bishop b5 check. The good players play bishop b5 check. That way, if he puts a knight on d7, when I retreat to e2 later, his bishop on c8 is blocked. So he played bishop d7. Okay, and I didn't know this, but it's been played a lot, I guess. Rook e1's okay. Most people play knight to d7, but probably what Alejandro did makes more sense because you want to get both of your knights to good squares. So that makes sense. Okay, and this is actually his game with Joel Benjamin, funnily enough, from, I don't know, 4 years ago. A lot of moves have been played here. Joel played bishop to g5. In fact, Alejandro won that game. The computer really likes white. Usually in any kind of queen pawn opening where white's pawn is on d5, the computer likes white. White's a little better, but nothing too serious, I don't think. More space and two bishops. But black has some dynamic play on both sides of the board, possibly, especially with b5. Okay, so here I thought of a really unusual plan. It's been played once, but I think the guy was Rufus or Doofus. Maybe he was the triplet. Basically, every normal move's been played. Queen d1, bishop g5. Those are the moves I thought about. Other moves have been played. I played knight b5. The reason was I wanted to put my pawn on c3 and block out his bishop. And then I figured the more pieces I trade, the less pieces I can blunder. And I liked his knight on c7 because it controls a lot of important squares, b5, e6, d5. So, okay, he thought a long time, and he played b6. I think he wanted to play a6, and then if I play a5, he can play b5. But if he plays a6 here, maybe he was worried I would take and play a5, and then, something like this. And I guess he just wanted to play b5 without, having to worry about me taking on Poisson and giving him an isolated a pawn. Maybe he was thinking that, I'm not sure. Okay, so he played b6. I took. It's funny, this move is sort of a half-hearted draw offer, but it's the computer's first choice. The reason is the computer doesn't like the bishop on f1 because the computer is not me. It wants it on c4. I don't want it on c4 because it runs into knight e5 and b5 gains a tempo. So I don't agree with that at all. So it actually likes bishop a6 because it stops him from playing a6 and b5. After knight b8, it wants me to play bishop c4. So then I got the bishop where it wants me to put it. Okay, but I went back. If he plays knight d7, probably I would take a draw, but I could also play on. But I don't think I was going to. And I knew Alejandro would not take a draw, so. And the computer doesn't like what I did here. When I say it doesn't like it, it thinks I'm better here and that I'm equalizing the way I'm playing. It's hard to trust the computer's strategical analysis since computers are terrible, but they're good at tactics, that's for sure. Okay, so c3 and bishop e3 and bishop d4. It doesn't like that maneuver, but too bad. Okay, and then here it thinks that black wants to play b5 because black wants to play b5. So it wants me to play rook a2, and that way I can double on the a file in case b5 is played. Although if b5 isn't played, rook a2 looks sort of silly. Okay, so I played bishop d4, he played b5, I played queen e3, and it looks like he wanted to play knight c5 and get his pieces all on the queen side, so he played rook f c8. I thought a long time here. I played h4. I figured if he moves all his pieces to the queen side, I'll play for checkmate. Now, he didn't play knight c5 because I'll take on c5. And then taking with the pawn doesn't make a lot of sense because I get a nice center and his queenside majority isn't too important. And if he takes with the queen and then takes with the rook to keep his queenside intact, I can take this, and I have lots of action on the white squares here. So he obviously didn't like this, and he wanted to play knight c5, so he played queen b7. Now he can play knight c5, and if I take the knight, he can take with the rook, and his queen's defending his rook on a8, and everybody's happy. Okay, I continued checkmating him. Knight c5, and computer doesn't like what I did here. That YouTube comment wasn't as crazy as usual. I traded and played h6. I thought I was doing great here, and then I played a5 to block up the queen side. If he wants to play knight b3 and take my a-pawn, good riddance to his knight, and I'll play for mate. I thought I had a big advantage here, and the computer says equal or black's better. So I guess I don't really understand what I'm attacking. Computer never likes my position. Computer wants to play queen c7 here because it makes e5 harder to play, and it puts pressure on the a5 pawn. Okay. Alejandro played queen d7 because he wanted his queen over to the king side. I played e5, which is correct. Queen g4. I just thought I was winning here. I'm like, I have an attack, and his rooks are stupid. And his knight's stupid. And he has no queenside play. He can't advance. And computer says I'm slightly better. Okay, so I played rook d1, which is a good move. And so this is where I made my first move that I would definitely take back. Maybe I should take back other moves, but I'm not good enough to know why. But here I am good enough to know why. Computer suggests queen f4. And the reason is, if I take on d6, that's good. And if he defends d6, let's say rook d8, now I can play rook e3. And I didn't see this idea. He can't take my rook on d1 because then his king is in some trouble. So if he plays as he did in the game with g5, I have rook g3, which I didn't have in the game. Okay, and then he can't do this. So queen f4 gives white an advantage. I'm not even sure what black should do here, but it didn't say white was winning, but white's better. I played rook d4. I really underestimated g5. I mean, I really underestimated it. And he played g5, and he's going to take my h-pawn. Okay, I played queen e7, which was my plan, and I played rook g4. I was shocked here. I thought he was going to play king h8, and I take on g5, and Peter says, like, I'm up 0.7 or 0.8. And he played f6, and then I realized my intention, which was to take on d6. He plays queen f8, and I got nothing. There's nothing going on here. I didn't see queen f8, so I thought he couldn't move anything. I thought rook e7's coming and f4's coming. Okay, and instead, I got nothing after queen f8. Actually, I'm still equal here by playing f4, but I don't even know why I didn't look at f4. I looked at f4 other moves. I'm not sure what I was thinking. f4 makes a lot of sense, so Peter says it's equal. Okay, so I took on d6, he played queen f8. And the endings are all bad for me because my queen side's falling. I'm playing for mate, and if I get to an ending, my rook on g4 is dumb, my pawn on a5 is dumb, my pawn on b2 is dumb, my bishop is dumb. But if I mate him, it doesn't matter. Okay, so queen g3, rook e8. Computer still says it's equal. I traded rooks, although I really didn't like my position now. And now he really surprised me. He played the move rook d8, and because it was a surprise, I played badly. I was thinking my bishop on f1 was dead. I was never going to move. So he played rook d8. I was like, oh boy, I can play bishop e2 and bishop g4 and bishop h5. But I mean, it's just dumb. Bishop e2 is okay. d6 is okay. Moving my queen's okay. Moving my rook's okay. Bishop e2 is not so good. It's okay. It's just not too good. Queen d6. And now I made the worst move of the game for me. It went from like equal to like 0.6 for him. We're in some mild time trouble, and I'm playing stupid now. Bishop e2 was bad. Queen e3 is just a horrible move. I should play anywhere else, any other square. h4 is better, sacking my queen. Okay, so queen e3, I just missed queen e5. The endings are all losing for me. As I said, my a5 pawn is weak, my b2 pawn is weak, and I can't do anything. And queen d2 walks into a fork. So, yeah. All right, so I played queen f3, which is best. Played king g7. And now king g7 is inaccurate, and I'm still equal here. Because I can take advantage by playing a move I looked at briefly, very briefly, bishop to d1. I didn't want his knight coming in. I didn't want his queen coming in. So bishop d1 lets both come in. And I want to play bishop c2. More YouTube comments. And then my bishop's pretty good here. The computer says bishop d1's equal. So it shows you what I know. I played bishop f1 for the third time. Always play bishop f1. And he played rook d6. And again, I couldn't find a move. I'm trying to move something. This is move 40. And with seconds left, I actually made the best move. I played rook to d2. I need to eventually sacrifice my d-pawn and start attacking his king since he's pushing the pawns in front of his king. And he played f5. And I was like, man, I can't do anything. I was like stuck. And I played rook e2, which is the right move. And he took. And I thought a long time. I have a lot of moves that look good, but I've actually played the best one here, queen e3. I'm threatening g5, obviously. I wouldn't mind playing queen e7 check. And the move that stops both of them is knight e6, which is fine. King g6 is also okay. And now I have queen a7 check. That's why I play queen e3. He can't block with the rook because his rook is defending his a-pawn. And the thing is, he has to move his king, but he's defending his h-pawn. If I take his h-pawn, I'm okay. So I defended his h-pawn. And my intention was to play queen e7, and then I noticed knight f4 was good. Computer says I have more than one good move here, but g3 is okay. I think it likes queen b8. And that stops knight f4. And also my bishop might move the rest at some point in the game. You never know. And it's funny. It's hard to move for black here because I'm on his a-pawn. I'm on his knight. His king is a little funny. My king's really safe. So computer says like black is a little bit better or it's equal. And he's up a pawn, but he can't really do anything because he's sort of crunched up in the middle. And if he moves his knight, my rook goes to e7. So he can't really move anything. It's weird. The best move according to the engine, which is hard to play, is queen c6. Keeping things under control and controlling the back rank some more. His rook has some scope now on the d-file. Black's still a little bit better. Okay, he played f4, which is like a minor mistake. And I played queen e7. Now he thought a long time, and we only get half an hour at move 40, and we're at move 45, 46. We already have like 5 minutes left. So we're already we have to play an increment the rest of the game. And I thought I was close to winning here because I didn't know what he would do. I thought I'd play rook e1 and then move my bishop, bishop h3, bishop g2. He made a move I didn't see at all, and I thought it was great. It's actually the losing move. It's very strange. More than one move draws according to the engine, but the simplest is to take and play g4. And then the idea is to play knight g5, and okay, black has good counterplay, obviously. And instead he played f3 and offered a draw, and I was like, well, I can't do anything. A draw is probably fair. Nobody can do anything. So I was like, yeah, I didn't see f3, and f3 blocks up everything. He can't really attack my queen because his knight's hanging. He can't move his knight because I'll play rook e5. I can't move my bishop anywhere. My rook's hanging. He's going to play g4 and close up my bishop. So I was like, yeah, a draw is reasonable, but why is he offering me a draw? He's a pawn up, and he's going to trap my bishop with g4. So I was like really confused. It seemed like since he was better, he wouldn't offer me a draw. He would press or something. I don't know. Well, I had about 7 minutes left when he offered a draw, maybe 6, and he had 3 and change. And I thought for like 3 minutes because I figure I can think as long as I want. And then if I have 5 seconds left, I can take the draw. And I realized I have a brilliant move to escape my bishop, and it turns out I'm right. I've never been right before. So I played rook e3, and I want to play bishop h3, and then I'm doing well, so g4. And now I guess you can pause your video. White's a play and win. This actually wins. And I found it. I found it when I played rook e3. Otherwise, I would have taken the draw because I can't do anything. But other than not do anything, White has a winning move. Pause your video. White's a play and win. You could think as long as you want. I'll have some coffee. That's the stuff. Hey, Starbucks, are you like paying me? Huh? Either that or they're going to sue me. Okay, so the winning move is b3, which looks insane because of the pawn queens. But it's not crazy like a Fox News, it's crazy like a fox. After he takes, I have bishop d3 check. Pawn's not on c4, not being explosive, so I can check. And he's just walking into mate if he doesn't give his queen away. Queen takes h7, queen g6 mate. And giving his queen away is not good because this is hanging and this is hanging and this is hanging. He obviously has to take and check. And maybe I can win his rook, but I can take his pawn. That's all I needed to see. Okay, so he can't play c. If he can't take my b pawn, I've opened up two avenues. I can take his pawn and I can take the b file. Now here I'm actually threatening to take the pawn because it looks like he has two defenders, but his queen's defending his rook. So he can't play queen takes c4. So I played rook c6, which is the best move. And now I can attack the c pawn and I can use the b file for my rook. And he really can't do anything. He doesn't have any like good moves. If he moves his rook off of his knight, I take his knight. If he moves his queen off of his knight, I take his knight. If he moves his knight, I play rook e5 always, and that's crushing. Because then I'm attacking his king and attacking his queen. So he can't move anything, and I have like a lot of plans. Attack a c pawn, play rook to the b file. Okay, so I played rook e1, and he made some random move, and I played queen check, and checked again, gained some time on the clock, and then rook b1. Now, I want to play rook b1 with my queen on e8, because if I play rook b1 like here, for example, he could play queen d8. Still good for white, but not as good, because here he can't move anything. He can't move his queen to d8 because his rook's hanging. So can't play rook c8. He can't really attack my queen. If he plays knight c7, I could pin his knight with rook b7, amongst other things. Okay, king f6, and I made a bad move here. We had no time here, so our moves are silly. Rook b7 is the best move, and the computer says like I'm +3 because his king is terrible. Okay, I checked, and I thought he would defend his pawn, and I would play rook b7 later, but he moved away from his pawn, which is correct, actually. Walking over to the king side where my queen and rook are going, he shouldn't run his king away from his pieces. King e7 is actually better. Okay, I got my pawn back, or so I thought, and he took on a5, so I'm down a pawn again. Okay, check, rook b7, rook c7. These moves are actually not bad, considering we don't have any time on our clock. And here, he played great. Queen h5 is a great move. It defends e8 and defends g4 and defends g6 and defends h7. I attacked his knight, and he played queen f5, another great move, defending everything. Took my pawn back, and he played rook d7, and I was like, if he plays rook d1, that's not good. Okay, I played queen c8, attacking the c4 pawn. I wasn't so worried about him going to the back rank, because I have queen c4 defending my bishop and putting pressure on some weak points. He can't play rook c7 here, because I play rook takes knight check, and his rook is hanging. So he played queen e4, which is okay. Computer says queen e5 is the best move. I don't know how you play queen e5 when your c4 pawn's hanging, but that's what the computer does. Okay, queen e4 defends the c4 pawn. So that makes more sense. I played rook a1. I don't want to trade queens or trade pieces because his king is on e7. I just wanted to stop rook d1. Now he should leave his rook on the d file because it's threatening to play rook d1 at some points, but he played rook c7, which he was obviously afraid of his c-pawn hanging because his c-pawn's hanging. So if I take on c4, it looks like I'm just winning. But this is inaccurate because now he doesn't have any counterplay down the d file with his rook. His rook's passive. Okay, and queen b7 is not so good either. Queen's passive. Queen e4 is better. And I found this really nice idea. Check. And then his queen's on e4, so I have bishop h3 winning. Which was just lucky. I'm trying to win his g-pawn and his c-pawn for like 20 moves, and finally I have some trick to win it. It was really hard to play black in that position because his king is just so wide open and my king was so safe. Okay, he knows he's going to lose g4, and then the position collapses because my bishop is a monster and f3's hanging. So he played for tricks, and tricks are for kids. Taking the rook wins, but king h2 is cuter. And the idea is if he takes my rook, I play bishop h5 check and win his queen. In fact, computer says he should do this, and it says like I'm +7 because I take all his pawns. So he didn't do that. So he went down in flames, queen e1, threatening queen g1, queen h1, queen f2. It's a lot of threats. If it was his move, he'd have all kinds of checkmates. Unfortunately, it's my move. If I blunder and take his rook, he plays queen f2 check and mates me. So that would have been a good way to end the game for him, but not for me. Yeah, that would have sucked. Okay, so instead of losing, I played rook a7 check, and now everything's made. For example, he can give his pieces away, rook b7, knight c7, so the computer does. But, okay, that's mate, and that's mate. And after king g8, everything's made. I mean, queen f6, queen h6, queen h8, bishop, queen. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of checks that don't even check. I guess that's mate in 1, so let's do that. And then, so the best, if you don't give all your pieces away with check, is to go here. And then rook f7's made and queen f5's made. Okay. Everything's made. So after rook a7 check, he resigned. I won a game. Wow, I won a long time. So that was exciting. I was better. I was worse. I don't think I was ever losing, but I had a bad position. I don't know if it was lost. I'm not sure. Probably not. And he was losing after f3, and before that he wasn't. So just when we both had less than 5 minutes left of the second time control, the last one, that's when the mistakes happened. But that was a really exciting game. Maybe not for Alejandro, but it was fun to watch and play. And I guess it would have been less fun if I had lost, and I was expecting to lose between moves 32 and 44. I thought I was going to lose, and then I thought I wasn't going to lose. So, but I thought I had a great position, and my position sucked. So it shows you what I know. So I have 50%. Yay, the most I could have ever hoped for. I have black tomorrow against Christian Carilla. He lost today, his first loss. He had 3 wins and 2 draws previous to that. He lost to Barry Politz, who beat me 2 rounds ago and has 5.5 out of 6. So I guess I don't mind losing to him so much since I had black and he beat everybody. In fact, he drew his first round and then he won his next 5. So I guess he's going to win the tournament. I've never played Carilla before, so it'd be fun. I never played Alejandro before, rated game. I never played Barish Politz. I never played Rambaldi, so I'm playing a lot of new people this tournament. All right. I'm glad you watched the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Please donate. I deserve the donations after your comments. You don't have to leave crazy comments. It's not forced. But it is a good way to get banned from my site, so keep doing it. And like me on Facebook and Twitter and whatever else you like. And I'll be back next week after this tournament doing commentary with Alejandro for the U.S. Championship. Now I can needle him a little bit. Gotta put the screws in. All right, bye everybody. Time for bed. Good night.